Hello, we are making a cheese lover pizza, and this is going to be a 0-carb crust, and we're gonna bake it in the oven on a pizza tray, and we're gonna make the crust first. So let's do that. We have 4 ounces of mozzarella shredded, and we're gonna use 4 ounces of marbled cheese. 2 eggs, scrambled already, uncooked of course, in a bowl. And we're using garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of dry oregano, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And so we're just gonna mix that together until it's really well combined. And this will be the crust, and we just lay it out onto a parchment paper on a pizza tray. And then we bake it at 350 for about 12 to 15 minutes. I know some people like their crusts extra crispy, some don't, so that's why I'm saying 12 to 15 minutes. So just start watching it around that time period at 12 to 15 and see, take it out of the oven once you cook it to your desired consistency of a crust. So you want to mix it really well so that the egg gets throughout all the cheese and everything, because it's really going to be holding it together is the egg. And of course the melted cheese once it melts in the oven. And then once we bake the crust, we're going to top it and then throw it back in the oven just to cook the toppings, because the crust will already be cooked. And so we're topping it with some low carb tomato sauce, some ground sausage, some pepperoni, some crumbled bacon, some more mozzarella, and some Parmesan. Okay, this looks good. I'm trying to break down the shreds of cheddar because some of them are really long and stringy, so I try and break them down so that it's easier to spread this out on the baking tray. So I'm going to grab the baking tray with the parchment on top. There is the baking tray. I'm using one of these. About a 10-inch pizza tray. And then I'm just dumping this on here and then spreading it out. So this is really good because it's going to be almost 0 carbs for the crust, because it's just cheese and egg, right? So we're going to spread it out. Let me try and spread it out as much as I can with the rubber spatula. I might put parchment on top to help spread it out evenly, but let me try this first. You want to try and get it evenly all the way around. So this is what I do, is I will put parchment on top. And to spread it, I'll use the bottom of a glass or the sides of a glass, and I just do this. It helps to spread it evenly. I mean, you can use a rolling pin, but sometimes the rolling pin's too long and then the edges of the pan interfere, so that's why I prefer to simply use this. And so you can see through the parchment if it's getting to the edges, and we want to try and get it spread out to the edges so that you have a round shaped pizza crust. So, peel this off, do it gently because it'll come up and stick to the parchment. Ain't that pretty? So with the edges, you can try and fold them over if you want. Actually, you should so that they don't fall over into your oven. So you got a bit of a crust there, but it's really gonna be a thin crust pizza. Might actually take some of this and put it here since there's a bit missing right there. That's it. We're gonna throw it in the oven at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I baked the crust for 15 minutes, and now we're gonna flip it over onto another parchment paper, like so, and then we're gonna top it. So, while it's still hot, I'm gonna flip it quickly. Like so. Oops. Remove the pizza pan. Careful because it's hot. And then you're just gonna slide the pizza back on to the pizza pan. And it'll be flipped. And then remove the parchment. There you go. So this is flipped over. As you can see, it's crusty on the outside. It'll continue to cook more once we top it and put it back into the oven. So let's get started with the topping. First is the sauce. This is a low carb marinara sauce, Rouse. I usually buy it at Costco. But if you're not too worried about sauce, you can just use any tomato sauce if you're not worried about the carbs too much. I don't tend to use a lot of sauce, so I would say about 4 tablespoons worth on a regular pizza. I don't like a lot of sauce, so I'm probably just gonna use 3 tablespoons worth. I'm not very saucy when it comes to sauces. So yeah, I'll leave that in there. Next, you want to add, have about 2 ounces of mozzarella. I'm gonna just sprinkle it with about 1 ounce on the bottom, and then I'm gonna do more on the top because that's how I like it. And then the pepperoni. So I pre-cooked the pepperoni. I lightly fried them in a frying pan, which helps cook it to get them a little crispy before we throw this in the oven. But that's optional. You can always put the pizza on the broiler later and get it cooked up. And so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15 or 16 pepperoni slices. I'm gonna add some crumbled bacon. Again, this is a meat lovers zero carb crust pizza. However, you know, you can skip the meat and add just cheese if you want, or any of your other favorite toppings. I'm also adding crumbled sausage. So this is already pre-cooked. I only used, it's about a cup, but it's really, I just used one sausage link, browned it up. I took it out of the casing and browned it up. And that's it. Try and put more around the edges, if the edges seem bare. That's that. And finally, some more mozzarella, and then we're gonna just do a sprinkle of Parmesan. And so the Parmesan is probably about a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. And the parm. This looks good already. It's not even baked. Well, the crust is baked, but. Okay, we're going back in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. And if the top is not fully cooked, I might put it on broil, but I'll let you know. Okay. Check that out. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. So I baked it again at 350 for 15 minutes. And then I did 5 minutes on broil because I wanted it to get crispier on top. So that was it. So first 15 minutes at 350 to bake the crust, flip it over, top it, another 15 minutes at 350, and then 5 minutes on broil is just about perfect for me. You may not want it as crispy, so then don't do the broil. And that's it. That's my pizza. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the recipe on my blog. This pizza, so good. Thin crust. Look how thin that crust is. You can hold it like a real pizza. Super cheesy. It's just really cheese, meat, and eggs.